So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Coinbase Developer Platform Workshop event series. Now, like I said, this is our second of many different workshops. And today we'll be going over how to accept crypto on an e-commerce site with CDP Commerce API. I'm your host, Ellie, a technical program manager here to help manage our developer community programming for CDP. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining, and we're excited to have you tune in. Now, CDP has created a platform that enables developers to help any business transition on-chain. We aim for our tools to continuously improve in efficiency and effectiveness, enabling us to contribute more meaningfully to the success of those building with our products. So to kick things off, I know everyone's tuning in from different parts of the world. Feel free to share where you're tuning in from. I'll go first. I am tuning in from Atlanta, Georgia. Feel free to share where you're tuning in from. And we'd also love to hear what you're all working on, whether you're a developer, whether you're interested in becoming a developer or some of our products. Yeah, feel free to share that as well. We got New York, Berkeley, Houston, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina, New Mexico, San Francisco. New York, we got a lot of New York. New York City, building Kettle. That's amazing. Feel free to share this in our show and tell channel as well. I know a lot of people would be interested in seeing what everyone's working on. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Denver. Rhodes said he's launching a new SAS company and would love to have crypto as a payment option. Amazing. Gainesville, Florida. Lovely. Okay. Aerodrome. Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. So with that being said, let me introduce you guys to Esteban. He's around the Discord. Y'all might have seen him around helping out with the different questions. He's our technical service engineer here at CDP. And yeah, before we get started, just want to mention a few things. So we'll have a Q&A at the end. Feel free to enter in questions as we go through the workshop, and we'll go back to those questions and answer them at the end. You can also request to speak at the end if you'd like to do so, but we'll leave that at the end. Also, be respectful and keep it relevant to whatever we're discussing. Alrighty, so I'll leave it off to you. Go for it.
Awesome. Thank you, Ellie. And is this better?
Yes.
All right, cool. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, like Ellie said, my name is Esteban. I'm happy to walk you guys through just commerce in general. I feel like we always get pretty good questions, and we haven't seen like a very formal tutorial yet. So this is our shot at doing this. Hopefully we get to answer a couple of your questions. And let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started. All right, can you guys see my screen, or would you prefer for me to go full screen? Let me know in the chat. Cool. I know some folks are on their phones, so just wanted to make sure. So, okay, today we're going to talk about accepting crypto on your e-commerce site with CDP Commerce API. This is specifically like programmatic integration with commerce, right? Because we do have a couple of more integrations, I think, as you guys have seen in the docs, right? We have Shopify, I think WooCommerce, and then a couple of other integrations, right? But those are more around downloading that plugin and inputting the API keys and then working from there. This is more about like adding it to your own custom website or kind of however you want to do it, right? So like Ellie said, feel free to jump in and ask questions in the chat. Happy to answer them. Just ask questions whenever you want in the chat specifically, and then we could bring people on stage, like Ellie said, at the end. And I think we'll have time for questions at the end. We don't have a lot of time, but I'll make sure we have time to answer some folks' questions. And those questions could be from anything like, hey, look, I'm building this, just want to show you, or hey, I have a question about commerce and its functionality. So I think we're all set to go. And I think I saw Os in the comment section here, the chat. So he's like the commerce go-to person as well. So he'll be here supporting us as well. All right, so let's get started. So a little bit about me. Like Ellie said, I'm a technical services engineer at Coinbase right now. Before that, I was a big tech for a bit. I was at Google for a bit doing that. And then I got the crypto bug, I think like late 2019 or something like that. And I was an early engineer at OpenSea. I got hired there to be a DevRel engineer. And from there, that's kind of, I didn't know much about crypto. I knew at a high level kind of what it was. But that's when I learned a ton, right? And I saw a ton of problems and like really cool things in the crypto space. From there, I went to Polygon, the layer two. They were called Polygon Technology at the time. And they were the Matic token. Now they're the Polygon token, whatever. There I was as an engineer, like helping customers integrate with our platform, right? And then from there, I went to TRM, which they do like blockchain analytics software, and they sell it to like the government and different things like that, which leads me here to Coinbase, right? Just wanted to give you guys a quick background. I'm definitely not like a OG crypto person, but happy to help out wherever I can. Happy to chat NFTs, L2s, or just like security in the blockchain, right? So that's just a little bit about me. I'm happy to discuss any of these roles if you guys have any questions as well. All right. So for the workshop, we're going to do a quick intro on Coinbase Commerce API. I have a quick little video. I don't think a lot of people have seen it. Then we're going to set up a developer account through the Commerce site, right? I think one of the tricky things in the Commerce site is that a lot of people like expect the Commerce docs to be in the CDP docs. It's a little bit of a separate domain, and I'll jump into that. But what I mean by that, we're going to grab an API key, make sure it's working, and then I'll go hands-on through like a very simple example of how you can move crypto payments to your site through the API, right? Of course. And then that's when we could get into Q&A and troubleshooting any questions you guys have, right? Cool. I see someone trying to speak on the stage. Again, we could jump you guys on the stage later on. So feel free to just ask questions on the chat. I could stop and ask and answer them, and then we'll go from there, right? Okay. The intro. So what are the benefits of this, of commerce, right? We have a lot of products. I mean, sometimes it gets overwhelming, right? So one of the bigger benefits of this is that it's borderless payment, it's secure, and it's somewhat decentralized, right? And it's super popular to use in e-commerce sites, right? I think I read something that like in the election, like this election cycle, like even through both parties, getting crypto donations was huge, right? And Coinbase has become kind of the de facto. Oh yeah, let me see, enlarge the screen. Yeah, I can make it a little bigger. Hold on. Sorry about that. There we go. Is that better in the chat? Perfect. Yeah, sorry about that, John. I wanted to confirm. So Coinbase has become the brand, the de facto brand of accepting multiple cryptocurrency payments, right? And I think compared to other brands that I've worked with or anything like that, the API integration is a little simpler. So I'd love to go ahead and show you guys this quick video on like why commerce, and you guys let me know if it's working for you, right? And if you guys could hear it. So I'll go ahead and mute myself and let me know if you guys could hear it.
Hello and welcome to Coinbase Commerce. We're excited to have you join our mission of bringing the world on-chain. Coinbase Commerce makes it easy for businesses to accept crypto payments. Your customers can pay with hundreds of cryptocurrencies. You receive USDC for every payment, a trusted stable coin exchangeable one-to-one with the US dollar. Funds settle in seconds over our on-chain payment rails. Crypto payments are up to 4 times cheaper than credit card payments at only a 1% fee. Payments are irreversible, eliminating the risk for fraudulent chargebacks. And you can engage a vibrant community of over 100 million crypto holders. Integrating with Coinbase Commerce gives your customers an easy way to pay with their crypto. Customers can choose from hundreds of crypto assets to pay with, from any self-custody wallet or their Coinbase account. Simply click and sign to complete the transaction from their wallet. When the customer submits payment, funds are instantly converted into USDC and deposited into your chosen wallet in minutes, ensuring that you're protected from any crypto volatility or associated accounting headaches. Getting started with commerce is quick and simple. First, set up where you'd like to deposit your funds. We recommend creating a digital wallet for fund storage. It's fast, secure, and easy to get started. Our favorite is Coinbase Wallet, but you can use any wallet provider. Alternatively, you can enter any crypto address that supports Ethereum networks, like an address for your preferred cryptocurrency exchange account, Coinbase Wallet, or Safe Account. Enterprise customers can apply for a business account with Coinbase, where we can store your funds on your behalf or automatically convert your payments to US dollars. Once you've set up storage for your funds, your next step is to accept your first payment. Payment links or checkouts are an easy, no-code way to get started accepting crypto. Create these links directly in the merchant portal or via API. You can embed a payment button on your website or send a payment link directly to your customer. Coinbase Commerce makes it easy to integrate with your e-commerce provider. We have streamlined integrations with top-tier providers, including Shopify, WooCommerce, Jumpseller, and Primer. With these partners, all you need to do is link your commerce account to your store by logging in or providing your API key. You can also create a custom integration using our API. We're excited to get you started with Coinbase Commerce so your business can easily accept crypto payments.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's it. That covers everything. No, just kidding, guys. That was a pretty informative video. I thought it was pretty good to kind of lead with that and kind of show that all the capabilities that Coinbase Commerce has, right? Either if you're like a programmer or developer, or whether you just want to integrate it like into your UI or anything like that, right? There's a lot of possibilities and a high range of things we could do with commerce specifically, right? So, okay, now I don't know how many of you are on mobile or anything like that. Whoever's on a desktop, feel free kind of to follow me, right? And I'm just kind of going to go through the commerce docs, kind of do a quick brief overview, walkthrough, and then that commerce portal that I was talking about. If you guys remember, I said, like in the beginning, I said it's kind of a different domain than like the CDP docs, and I'll go ahead and show you guys what I mean by that. So, okay, if you guys can still see my screen here. We're at our CDP docs. It's docs.cdp.coinbase.com, and we're going to go ahead and look for our for commerce, right? So it's under our product APIs, and it's down here, right? So we have a nice welcome message, right? And typically, I think our getting started docs is fine. Feel free to leave some feedback in the comments if you guys think it doesn't help or anything like that. But here in the getting started, we have the first step, right? Let's create a commerce account. That is the first step in order to interact with commerce, even to get a commerce API key, because that's a separate API key than CDP SDK or anything like that, right? So let's go ahead and click there. See, so this takes us here to beta.commerce.coinbase.com, right? Reloads to payments. And then we get this nice homepage, right? We got this nice homepage. It's kind of telling us, and this tutorial is a quick video that I showed you guys just right now. And it gives us a couple of options, right? It's showing us, okay, how do we want to integrate with commerce, right? And I'll just briefly go through these, right? So first, no code option. You could create a link here, right? This is a product link. Let me use someone in the chat. I'll do Aus. I like Aus. That's one. Aus is $10. Yeah, let's do USD. I like USD. So here we have it, and then we could kind of just send a link for that specific product or anything like that, right? Anybody could go here. Let's see if that works. And check out there. So we have the option to pay and connect different. Sorry. Okay. I'll put, I don't know, 20. I'll add another 0 next time. I didn't know you're going to get hurt by that. So that's our first option, right? So let me go back. See. Oh, while that loads, right? So we go there, and then we have different drop downs to get like an API key as well, right? And then we have our third-party integration. So something that I really want to call out here, and something because I see it a lot on the Discord for in our CDP Discord in the commerce channel, is that a lot of folks are trying to open or do the integration here, but you do need to have like a business account, right? That we verify and go through. We call it out here, right? It's an enterprise account. So a couple of these third-party ones, I don't know if all of them, I got to double check, but the majority of them, you do need an enterprise account, right? So that's a bit of a process because you first need that and then you could integrate with it. I've seen a lot of folks kind of saying, hey, look, it's not working for me. I don't know what to do. This is the first step to take, right? And I think, and Alice could correct me in the chat, it could take a couple of days to get approved. It shouldn't be something that'll take that long. But to integrate with these like third-party commerce sites or anything like that, you do need one of those, right? An enterprise account. Right? And then this brings us to what we're going to do today, right? Like the custom integration. So you're giving your API key, or luckily all of mine isn't showing. And we're going to want to build something with that, right? So let me check the chat to see if there's any questions. I think Austin's got it. Cool. Like I said, guys, feel free to drop your questions on the chat and I'll go in. All right. So how do we make this API, right? We're given an API key there. We could also add new API keys. So let's go ahead and we go to our settings and we go to security. And we could create a new API key here. I don't want to click here. I love you guys, but I don't trust you guys that much. Just kidding. And then, so we could add new API keys here, just use those for commerce or anything like that, right? So far, I hope you guys are tracking with me. I don't see anything that's outstanding in the chat, so we'll go from there. All right, so now the fun part, right? Now we want to integrate our API key and like what we're doing, like set up our site with commerce or whatever, right? The good thing is that you could integrate it in multiple languages. You could do Python, you could do like JavaScript, TypeScript, right? You kind of just need this API key to plug and play. We do have a couple of SDKs, but you could also build something custom if you'd like, right? So that being said, let's go over here. Let's go to the docs, the API reference. Something I really love about these docs, it's that it's pretty like straightforward, right? We have these endpoints. We have charges. You could create a charge, which I showed you guys kind of like what I did, how I did that with the link. You could get all those, like return all the charges that you've made and then return the charge with the order code, right? And I think our docs do a pretty good job of either copying and pasting this code, and you could just grab your API key and plug it in, right? And we have a list of different like sample code you could just kind of copy and paste to try it out, right? I think a lot of this might print it in your terminal, but you could mess around with the UI and go ahead and do that, right? And we have a new checkout, right? We could do a quick post call for a checkout and then the two gets for the same one. And then we have different events, right? We could see the different events. And you also have different webhooks, right? In the commerce, and you could set that up differently here as well, right? So cool. And now let's go ahead and work on a live coding demo, right? So I mentioned we could do it in different ways. I'm stronger in Python, right? I know a lot of you guys are more JavaScript folks. So I like using this library called Streamlit. It's very much an easy way to just visualize things on Python. You can use Flask or Django, whatever the case may be, right? But I essentially just wanted to build something that you guys could take a look at. I can even send out this code as well. Oh, sorry. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm only sharing my. We're going to call up. Go. Sorry, I have 3 screens. All right. All right. Let me see if it works now. All right. Can you guys see it now? Cool. So I made this quickly with Python, right? I just literally one file and a .env file to put the API keys in. It's literally just using the Commerce API key, nothing else, right? Very simple. So here, what I'm doing essentially is listing the items, right? And then I have an add to cart feature. We can remove things from the cart. And then we have a lot of, like, you could create a charge and I could update my inventory, right? But this stuff, what you're seeing here is essentially what you're seeing in the docs. So if I go back over here, it'll list, let me see, I think out of here. So you could do a lot of these things with the post calls here. You could just copy it. Like this is Node, but you could find the Python one and it's all here. And if you guys like just want this example, I'm happy to send it. Like you guys can make it a lot nicer. I just made it very simple for testing purposes. And this is more or less what it looks like, right? Super, super simple format. Nothing crazy, right? Literally to like use emojis and something like that. I'm sure you can do a lot more with React and things like that. But just for this example, right? Just wanted to keep it beginner friendly and mess around with it, right? So, okay. All I did here so far was grab one of, let's say this API key, whatever. I grabbed this API key and then put that in my env file. And then I started creating charges and had an option to add products, to remove products, and go ahead and this is just for different tabs. So here we have different tabs. I have an admin dashboard where I could add products and I have API references where I could just, instead of going to the docs, I could just kind of see this. Feel free to give me a +1 if this is like something that you guys would want me to put in a repository or something to build off of. I could also build one like in JavaScript. I'm not sure if the commerce team is building something like this, but I can double check with them, but happy to provide this code for anybody that needs it, right? So, okay, cool. So here, let's say we want this wireless mouse, we want to add it to our cart, right? Very simple, like no like actual like cart button or anything. Like I could have added that, but I just figured, you know, just to kind of show you guys what's happening. And I want to add this USB-C hub as well. We have $70.99, so we want to proceed to the checkout. Here we get our confirmation that we added everything to the cart. And here we could go ahead and check out, right? And you could set the wallet that you want to receive these funds in the Commerce dashboard as well. So here you could kind of just decide what you want to pay with or anything like that, right? So all that took me, I think, to set up like 30 minutes, right? I already set up like a Commerce shop, right? And I mean, that's why I like Streamlit, right? It's an open source like library for Python. You could even just publish this. There's a deploy button here that it'll give you, like, if you guys are familiar with the Vercel, you could publish domains for free, right? It'll just have like the company name or whatever you call the project, and then it have vercel.com or something like that. Here it's the same thing, right? You could have like a name, and then it'll show like streamlit.io, right? So I could even host this thing like in like 10 minutes or something like that if I really wanted to, right? That kind of just shows you how simple like commerce is and the power behind it. You could start charging people. You can make your own store. You could set up donations or anything like that. Yeah, and Os just linked a really cool one as well, right? He linked an on-chain commerce template with Vercel. So if you guys are like TypeScript or JavaScript or whatever, if that's your cup of tea, that one's awesome as well. And I believe I was looking at that one too. That one integrates with our on-chain kit. So just quick call out for on-chain kit if you guys haven't seen that. This is really awesome. I mean, it's basically, I call it like a plug and play thing because it has React components and TypeScript components where you could just set everything up, right? Like we even have, I'll show you guys because I was playing around with this. We have an on-chain commerce app here that you can literally just fork this, plug in your on-chain kit API key, and plug in your commerce API key. And like you could get this working, you could add your own items, change this up however you want to, right? But super powerful, right? We're thinking of ways to make this a lot easier for you guys. And on-chain kit is definitely a cool thing to integrate with commerce, right? Cool. So going back here, that was a quick little walkthrough. Happy to go through lines of code if you guys want to. Again, all of this was captured through like basically these post requests or post API calls that I can make, right? You can, like I said, you could also set up webhooks. We have different reporting options here as well that you can track. So yeah, so far you guys are tracking with me so far. Did I lose anybody? How's the chat doing? All right, cool. All right, I got one good. I think that's decent. So, okay, cool. So I kind of showed you guys a quick way to do it. I know I kind of went fast for the sake of time, and I do want to leave time for questions. This is supposed to end, I think, 5:05 around there, so we don't have a lot of time for questions. But yeah, just to summarize what I did, showed you guys kind of what commerce is, the different ways you can integrate it with your projects, right? It could be no code, those first two options, or with a third-party e-commerce site, and you could also do it programmatically, right? I mean, yes, I agree. The UI that I built wasn't the best. Won't win any design awards by any means. Very small emojis and stuff like that. But very simple way. I have the store ready to go. I could literally just all I have to do is hit deploy and we're good to go, right? I already have a domain and everything, and everything should be working. So that being said, yes, obviously I have to say use best practices, right? And don't like publish your API key or anything like that on GitHub, right? I mean, those things happen, but just be careful. You have a bunch of different resources, right? You guys have me, you guys have Os, Ellie, like we have that commerce Discord channel. So feel free to leverage us. Feel free to ask any questions you have. Like we love building, right? We could help you guys with your projects and even like code with you guys sometimes if we have the time. But yeah, quick shout out for the channel and doing that there, right? So that being said, I'm happy to open it up for questions. Feel free to ask questions in the chat, or we can maybe bring you on stage, whatever you guys prefer. Let's see. So you're saying like step by step, or have you had issues like connecting with it? Because I mean, it should be the same checkout flow. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but once it's integrated to WooCommerce, you'd get that sample checkout. And if I let me share my screen again, kind of how it was set up in the app. Let's say I'm checking out here. Sorry, I'm checking out here. You should be able to connect all of these, right? So you're not necessarily limited with wallets per se. You could even connect MetaMask and I think Phantom and stuff like that, right? We have a whole list of wallets you could use here. So yeah, it should be working once you got it integrated. Hmm. I mean, maybe Oscar comment on this for best practices. Os, what have you seen for commerce? Sorry to call you out. We could definitely bring Os on stage if you're comfortable as well. Cool. Hey, Os, I think you're here. Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was what's the question? I don't off the top of my head. Obviously if you wanted like credit card payments via Stripe, you could integrate with Stripe and then also integrate with us. And basically have a button that's like pay with crypto and a button's like pay with Stripe or credit card. But we don't exactly have any like formal resources to um, combine the two into a single flow.
Oh, I think I was muted. Hey, I was going to say, Os, you want to take that one?
Sure. To be honest, I don't know like the inner workings of PayPal solution or Stripe. So I can't really speak to that. But one thing that's kind of like top of mind for me is that an interesting like feature of our like on-chain payment protocol. It's open source. It's really great. Um, your users can pay in like hundreds of different currencies on Ethereum, Polygon, and Base. We perform an on-chain swap, and then you receive USDC. So historically, Commerce has had a lot of feedback from various merchants that it's like, let's say you between different exchange rates, like it's very easy for your user because crypto payments are push payments. It's easy for your user to send too little crypto or too much crypto and resulting in an over or an underpayment. But one thing you need to commerce is that because your users have to connect either their Coinbase account or their self-custody wallet, the payment amount is enforced at the contract level. So it's not possible to send like too much or too little, and you get a guaranteed like instant settlement for 99% of the value sent. Obviously, the 100% minus the 1% fee.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think we do get that question a lot. And something really cool about our product team is that like we take that feedback. Like a practical one, I think is like, and I'll correct me if I'm wrong. We had like a lot of folks saying, "Hey, we would love subscription payments, right, for like Coinbase Commerce. Like we want to be able to charge people monthly or our customers monthly or something like that, right?" And that's something we immediately took to our product team, and I think we're working on, right? So that being said, like not only bring questions, but feel free to bring any like feature requests you guys would want. We work directly with the product team here, so like that's something that I will say that we're pretty good about providing this feedback and hopefully shipping this out to you guys soon as well, right? So that's just one instance of like feedback we've gotten and presenting that as well to the product team. See, any other questions? Mike, you mean like test nets or something like that, or like a sandbox? Yeah. Yeah, I heard you loud and clear. I feel like we've been hearing that too. That has been put into the product team as well. We've actually recently released one for advanced trade. I know it's kind of irrelevant, but we have like a sandbox there. I'll find the link and I'll send it to you. But would love your feedback. Like, are you thinking of something similar to that? Give me a second and I'll pull it up for you.
Yeah, your best bet for testing right now is just to price charges at like 1 penny and use like the cheapest network, either Polygon or Base. Obviously, we're Base maxis here, but that's kind of like the best way to test right now, just to price really cheap charges and pay yourself.
Yeah, I see another question there for QR codes. Hoss, correct me if I'm wrong, but like QR codes, is that something we kind of stopped doing, or are we planning to bring that back or something? I'm not sure where we stand there.
No, there's no plan to bring that back. The whole point of the QR codes is because previously on the legacy charge kind, each charge generated like a unique crypto address that the customer would have to send funds to. And so the address was just like the QR code was just essentially a QR code of the address, um, where it could parse it into your wallet. Um, I mean, I've I've seen merchants like create like checkout links or charge links as a QR code. So you scan it and then it redirects to the payment flow. It's like one option.
Let's see. Hopefully that answered your question. Let's see. I'm looking at the chat. See a lot of people typing. I know it's a lot when it says like several people are typing. It's Is that in the chat? Let me see. I just want to reread that question. Make sure I answer all of it. Okay, I think it was Hollywood. Hollywood 41. Cool name, by the way. What are you seeing? All right. So yeah, as far as base names, I think there's a big push. Obviously for us, like we love base here. So there's a big push for us to do it. Although, like, if you're asking me personally, this is like outside of like Coinbase and stuff like that. I think like ENS and base name kind of transactions would be the best to go about it. I wonder how that would look like though for other L2s and like just in general and like full out integration for it. I do think we're heading that way generally, right, away from like these wallet addresses and things like that. Don't want to speak for Coinbase, right? This is only Coinbase's behalf, but I personally like that style a little more, especially to get folks from Web 2 to Web 3. Anything to add there, us, like in terms of base names and how they relate to commerce?
Um, I'm not sure I fully understand the question. Like, obviously, if you have I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but all base names resolve to an underlying Ethereum address, right? Just like an ENS or something else. So all you would do is take that address and use it as your specified wallet address. So your customers are technically like paying you to your base name. It's just like, um, yeah, I mean, you would just have to specify your wallet address really that's associated with your base name or ENS or whatever. No, you don't need KYC. Commerce is available globally.
Yeah, and to answer that first part, yeah, you should. It's like Coinbase account is separate. Like for example, like we have our developer account, and like I mentioned, Coinbase account's like a separate domain. So yeah, you would have to have like a commerce account versus like for example, a Coinbase developer account. They're like separate domains, if that makes sense. And I could add the link here as well in the chat. Yeah. Also, I'm curious, like, how do customers go on about that, right? For like having on-chain stuff versus off-chain stuff. What have you seen, like, big commerce players do in that case, in terms of like privacy, like Neo Da Vinci is proposing?
Um, if you need privacy, I would apply for like our institutional commerce offering because it'll settle to Coinbase Exchange, um, and we obfuscate you know, your address. But if you're using a self-serve product, um, yeah, I mean, privacy is kind of like it is private. Like I can't, if one of you created a commerce account and like, you're settling to your Ethereum address, I can't exactly like, nobody can necessarily match up your business with your Ethereum address unless they pay you. Once they pay you, they can just look at their transaction and see where the funds settle and know that that's your settlement address. Um, you can always, I mean, you could rotate your settlement address every week, every month, every day. But if you want a larger amount of privacy, you would want to be on our enterprise product.
And just to answer the question for folks for enterprise, what's the process for that? So I know you have to apply for it, but how long is the turnaround time for that and whatnot? And do you need like specific information? Like, do you have to have like an LLC or something like that?
Yeah. You have to be like, you have to have your registered business entity. It's not available globally, so there is geo restrictions where it's available. It's a pretty lengthy application. Like expect to spend many hours um, doing it. We ask for quite a bit of info to stay compliant. As far as turnaround time, once it's submitted, I would say most applications can get approved in like a week or two. They would have to pay you though. So I guess that's one benefit. Your competitors would be buying one of your products, but they won't be able to like necessarily know your settlement address unless they pay you.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for the questions. I wish we could spend more time. I really enjoy doing these, right? So let us know in the Discord, Ellie, in the general channel or like I guess the product specific channel if you like, if you guys want more of these and what you guys would like to see, right? Happy to do like a live coding session. I realized this wasn't a lot of time to kind of go line by line and to introduce commerce and whatnot. So if you guys want a deeper dive in commerce and want like a more like I think I said it earlier, like on-chain and commerce combined, like what would that look like? How do we build that, right? What are the pros and cons there? I'm happy to jump into that as well. So don't feel like you're limited to commerce. We could also do other products like advanced trade or on-chain care or CDP SDK, right? There's a lot of cool things going on there with like AI and crypto coming together. So yeah, feel free to let us know in the specific Discord channels what you guys would love to see. And I guess in that Discord, in that form we just sent out, Ellie.
I think there's
I guess. Thank you.